Peace, bienvenido back to my channel. Peace, soul fam, fellow spiritual beings, light workers, star seeds and indigo children, Sirius B, Sirius C, star seeds. Walking amongst me on this planet. I am here to do my day one of the 5-day challenge, content challenge. That the great, wonderful, gorgeous, phenomenal, euphoric goddess that I already say, Carla, aka the Cosmic Venus, has brilliantly followed her promptings to create. So yes, so with day one, I am here to reintroduce myself. My name is Hope. So no, but nah, I'm Senpai Osset, and why am I Senpai Osset? What has made me discover that I am, for one, a senpai on one's path to become a sensei? Well, I've known for years that I was born to rule, to lead a revolution that was everything but colonization. That was the embodiment of the way our ancestors lived, with the little sprinkle of my Libra first house of like, okay, taking what works now, and then connecting, merging, recreating, or creating this new sort of traditions, practices, rituals that resonate the most with me this lifetime, in my current scenario, timeline, etc. I feel like you feeling me. So like, I've always felt that. I've always known that God placed me, well, let me not say always, for over a decade. I'm 25 right now, and I'll be 26 in like 17 more days. But anyway, yeah, so being on this planet for 25 years, definitely want to easily, for at least 15 plus years, I've known that God and I agreed to send me here to rule my own nation, pioneering, because we pioneers of the century. If you know, you know. But anyway, pioneering how what gods and goddesses live like today, on Earth, how our communities vibrate, how our communities thrive, how our communities look, are designed, architectured, all the above. Like a community developed by a revolution from revelations, a revolution of true believers into our own utopia that resembles, recreates, and reflects the beauty, wisdom, love, prosperity, wealth. Did I say divinity already? Of our ancestors and the gods, aka us. Or I don't know about but for those who us applies to, for us, like our primordial beings was used to doing, I want to say before BC. The, so before BC, before Jesus, before Jesus, etc. So through what has brought me into acting upon and fortifying and devoting myself more on my spiritual journey, especially as an adult, and then I want to say rearranging my perspective from a child to a teen to adult, and how my utopia can actually come to be. You know, before I learned how manifestation is broken down by Professor Melanie, or lots of things I didn't know before um, becoming a student of Spiritual Ascension University, or just a subscriber of Professor Melanie. That like questions, what do they say? Answers to questions that have possibly already been answered, like more clarification from my own meditations, teaching myself to meditate and stuff before I was even introduced to Professor Melanie in like 2020. Well, really 2020, 2021. So through breakup, that, and like before the breakup, through my first adult relationship, serious relationship that involved physical abuse, emotional abuse, through that, getting fed up with that, reminding myself who the F I am. Why would I put up with this situation, scenario that I know I don't deserve? And me of all people, would have never, like, before I met this man, I would never, like, who the fuck am I now? How did we become this person? So, like, after reflection, some shadow work, and like I said, reawakening. Well, I didn't say that, but awakening the fuck up. Reawakening to who the F I am. Kiara set of damn tribe. And he tried and failed, and I had to kick his ass out after some grit ball. But anyway, with this, so after that, okay, isolation. Isolation that occurred after that, me just pretty much being in my house alone. I already totaled my car. Like, this is months later, but like sitting in isolation alone. My roommate left. Um, I was facing eviction alone. I had quit my job. Was betting on the COVID, not the stimulus check, but what, the unemployed. I guess that's, no, the PUH that never came. And so yeah, isolation. I said I told him I had totaled my car by then, with no job. I was just like, what am I doing? Holding on to faith barely for a stimulus check. I felt the fear of poor programmed dendrites tempting me into fight or flight mode because of all my trust issues being triggered simultaneously. Like trust issues and abandonment issues. I've never really, except for a part of Inner Circle 2 classes with Hood Mystic, aka Kyrie Anthony, when we did our shadow work homework, I never viewed things that I have viewed or already accepted, perceived as trust issues from childhood trauma that developed from like my relationships with my parents and such. I never attached it to abandonment issues as much. I mean, like, I got into that, but yeah, so the trust corresponding with the abandonment issues, I don't think I really made as heavy as a tie as right now in this moment reading this. So all of that triggering at once, I surprisingly was so pretty nonchalant about the whole eviction thing, but only because of COVID's memorandum, for like my nonchalant, not carelessness, but like my confidence in my security and having shelter was unwavered by the eviction notice because of relying on the practicalness, the practicality, the physical of the physical. Like, what I mean by that is these legal concepts, like relying on the memorandum. Oh, because this is something I saw in my eyeballs and heard that the government's going along with, and they got to go along with because they said it themselves. It wasn't self-confidence. It wasn't faith, you know, which is probably why shit went down how it went down. But anyway, right, because then, which was later at my eviction court hearing, whatever, it was revealed that that memorandum I was clinging on to, believing was keeping a roof over head, or helping me keep a roof over head, and like a confirmation from God, however I viewed it, with such little faith, was later revealed as inapplicable to my lease agreement. So, but I say that to say, before even giving F or about the eviction, I was devoted to spirit. I was spirit first, spirit led. I was doing my yoga every day. I had my altar set up. Where did that accent come from? I had my altar set up. Like, yeah, I was tapping into my Lilith. I was broadcasting. Like, I was going live daily. Now here's where it got a little unbalanced. Starting to give from an empty cup. Like, I was giving too much energy to that app. But where the app was giving back, like the people I met, like, before knowing the categories of which a spiritual being can place beings they come across in their lifetime. Learned by Professor Melanie. I learned by Professor Melanie. I could have confidently said in 2021, 2022, yeah, I used to broadcast with some Soul Fam before I even knew about Soul Fam. Or I mean, as a quaint term, like what we were saying, if we were saying stuff back then, we were kind of saying Soul Family, kind of saying or Soul Tribe, one's tribe, their spiritual tribe, maybe not soul, but yeah, like we were saying stuff about finding one's tribes. I definitely felt like some category threes was up in there, and I had found some tribe members. I knew the potentiality was out there, and that's what I was seeking for, because I came on there doing yoga. I came on there being spiritual, and that was only the excuse for being on there, was to not feel lonely when I was doing my sun salutations on a daily. And I also knew that I could inspire others by doing my sun salutations. alone in my home or out on my balcony, right in the sun, getting outside. Let's get outside. Let's get active. Like, and I did influence. I did inspire. I did teach yoga online. Like first of all, before I even considered myself as a yoga teacher, I was already teaching yoga virtually to who you could call students. Like, obviously I wasn't hosting a class. Like, no, I was hosting a class, but they were free. Um, yeah, like, period. And my heart chakra love. I was sharing heart chakra love energy. I was teaching people about their chakras, yo. And I wasn't no whole chakra expert. I just followed the guided meditations that I found on YouTube that were chakra specific. Meditative Mind. I love Meditative Mind. I'm still subscribed to them, I think. His voice. There's something about his voice and that accent over them deep bass beats. But anyway, yeah, so wow. So, and then I met Professor Melanie, and then I got out of my um lacking financial mindset idea that stimulated a lot from being for quitting my job, then being unemployed for years, and then moving back into my parents' house, and then I found another boyfriend, and then moving in with him, and just feeling like I was providing myself, and then my boyfriend, and then other people I knew in my life, but primarily him. Because I prioritized him over the other people in my life. So like simple math. But like triggering like the programs that triggered them to try and trigger me and my dendrites that are programmed by the colonizer of like, well, if you don't work, what are you contributing to society, community, to life, to this relationship, to yourself? All these false ass ideas of what living in life is and stuff. And then discovering sovereignty and just all this law and so before I left my apartment, I got serious about buying me some land because I was planning on my Capricorn sun was already planning on how I'm gonna use this stimulus check, this $10,000 PUA money to buy my land, start my micronation, and what's this legal work that I need to do to put my stuff in the trust and be like that Yoruba African village in the middle of South Carolina. So yeah, I was researching a bunch, researching budget, and now I'm in the stage where I wake up anxious because I know I've absorbed all this intellect, and now I need to be action, applying the action, like all 2024 action, like I tap into my Chiron as Sag and tap into my wealth currency flow by traveling firstly outside this dusty country. But yeah, like splurging on my cruise. Like, who is she? She splurged. Like, first of all, check the price tags where they do that at. I wasn't really analyzing the receipt, like my Capricorn, my childhood trauma of like poverty and this like penny pinching cheapskate, prestigious cheapskate mindset that my father may have pushed on me. Talk about the electric company owe him money because he unplugged everything every day after each use. So right, I was so like, who is she? Is this my highest self? because she got it like that. I know she got it like that. And if I can acknowledge that, I know my higher self got it like that. And I know that myself and I are the same. Like, what's really stopping me from living my best life? And I've been feeling real depressed, which is why it took me so long to finally record this day one video. But if ever you're at the brink of feeling like unaliving yourself, entertaining the thoughts, let alone actually considering it after entertaining those thoughts, like, you might as well say YOLO and just do your make your own bucket list and then just go off and start doing it. Because if you're ready to die, what else you got to lose? The little last bit of what you think might be your humanity or your self-love scraps by living in a certain way that people won't judge you, or you won't feel embarrassed by living or doing things a certain way that you feel and want to do them. Like, F it. YOLO. First of all, we need to bring that back. Well, you don't only live once, but you know, everybody gets you get the idea. So just for that, let's come up with a new YOLO that will resonate with like true beings, because you can't really get down with it. You can only get down with it so far because we've lived more than once, and we know that. Soulfully, we know that. So, all right, that's my prompting to you watching this video. We gotta come up with a new term since YOLO played out and it never really fit. I mean, I guess it fit for those who only live once, which makes sense. So, those with the soul, we gotta come up with something. All right, what we gonna say? And let me stop this before I come up with something ridiculous. But yes, um, miigwech for coming to my TED Talk, and I shall see you tomorrow because I am committed to becoming my best self, aka Chantel Offset Luna. But yes, abiento. Peace, prosperity, provisions, heart chakra, love, energy.